Sorry. Just pull up chat on my phone. Oh. Excuse me, sorry. Goodness gracious. Hi, Quid. How you doing? Good to see you, sir. I hope you've been well. You're here first. Congrats on getting first crit. Who got it last time? Oh, it was Genie last night. That's right. There we go. But hi, Crit. Want some smooches, Crit? You got it. Is there a particular kind of smooch you would like? Smooches. My day was okay. It was good. I caught up on some animes, and I've been watching a lot of Halo lore videos. I'm watching a lot of Halo lore videos. Why are you doing this to me, Crit? Why are you doing this to me? Do you do you not know, or you just like those smooches? Okay, you're just trying to get me going. I don't know. As an idea. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I can expound upon you what I know or recall. Um, it goes deep. Um, it goes deep. I can tell you after the smooches. Oh, let me know if you get hit with ads, Crit, and then I can get you your smooches. Otherwise, we'll wait till after the ad break. You don't know much? Okay. Okay, because when I was younger, I would spend a couple, like a day or two a week with my grandpa because my grandma had to go out and do stuff. My grandpa um, was sick, um, so he you mean to add? You got it. And so he was sick, and I would just kind of sit with him and stuff, so he wasn't all by himself, and help him get him stuff and things like that. And my dad dropped me off, and then before he left, he's like, "Tell Grandpa what the flood are." And then I spent like 3 hours talking to my grandpa about Halo lore that he didn't understand what I was saying. Really, I don't know. Maybe he did. He would ask clarifying questions. Uh, but man, so you just give me flashbacks to the time I rambled like 3 hours to my grandpa about Halo lore, which is fine. I'm gonna spend time with my grandpa. That's fine. But it's like, oh no, are you doing it too? Yeah. Hi CJ, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. How are you, dear? How are you? I spent all of my day today watching Halo lore videos. All right, let me drink some water. Get your smooches, Cred. Okay. Here you go, Cred. Oh, welcome back from the break, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you. Thank you. Excuse me, sorry. Hi, Ninedale. You stole your laptop back? Let's go. Let's go. Hi, Ninedale. Okay, Crit. Those are smooches. Hopefully those are alright for you. Thank you for the 5-stream streak, Ninedale. Thank you. Those are very cute emotes. Okay, Crit. So, of the smooches, well, I'm glad you like them. You want to know what the flood is? What the flood are? Okay. Thank you, Crit. Thank you. I do still need to post lives today. I still need to do that. Have you played any of the Halo games, Crit? You played any of them? Sorry, guys. The mic cut out. I was giving it scritches and then it just static died. I don't know what's going on there. Sorry. Hopefully, you guys say you don't get the big, loud static sound, so that's good. That's good. Because if I explain to you what the flood are, that's kind of spoilers. A little. A little. You don't have your phone no more for a while. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Because explaining what the flood are is kind of like explaining the Halo's the Halo universe's like creation myth or like it's the deep lore. So, and it can go. I just want you to know, like if I start, I might not stop till the stream's over. Um, or at least it'll take a while. So, um, yeah. I just want you to be prepared, Crid. That's that's all. It's freaking me out. Oh, I'm sorry, Nightingale. I hope that week flies by and it doesn't even feel like that long. Okay. So, the flood, like like pre Halo 4, I'm not actually too sure. Um the flood were just some eldritch, ever present parasitic thing that um the Forerunners built the Halo rings to um kill everything. Like the Halo rings, like you find out when you uh get back to the control room with Guilty Spark. The Halo is not like some big like war weapon, like it or I don't know how to describe it, but it's not made to like kill, flood, or um anything like that. It's built to kill anything that would provide sufficient biomass for the flood. So basically everything that's like bigger than a microbe. Um Things that I didn't even see them in Automod, so it wasn't Automod. I'm sorry, Crid. I see that one. Oh, they weren't too long. Please send them again. I would love to read them. Um so the Halo ring is built to like um kill every living thing in like okay, I might actually look it up. Ring uh fire Halo ring firing range. Yeah, 25,000 light years. I don't know how I kept that number in my head. So the Halo Ring's range of fire is 25,000 light years, which um, is a lot, but not a ton. So everything in the distance that's like bigger than a plankton, or anything sufficient to feed the flood for the flood to use, it vaporizes it like it just kills everything, and then it starves the flood of more biomass, and then they die. Excuse me. and the Forerunners kept flood specimens on the Halo rings for study for some reason, to maybe find an alternate way to destroy them, but they were unsuccessful in doing that, and they just stored specimens in cold storage for millennia to study. And the monitors, the little floating blue robot guy, his job is to maintain the Halo ring and make sure it stays operational. But do you have any specific questions maybe I can answer? Because otherwise I just start rambling. You want Good Girl Ninetale? Okay. Hey, Star Girl, you want some smooches? I can get you some smooches. Just need to give Ninetale her Good Girl routine first.
Ninetale. You're very good girl. Ninetale, you worked very, very hard this week. And I'm very, very proud of you. You're very, very good girl. Ninetale, you're a very good girl. Thank you for being here. Thank you for lurking and chatting.
You return. Welcome back, Crid. Welcome back. Are there any specific questions you have? Your internet exploded. Oh, maybe. Okay, that makes sense. Well, I'm glad you're back, Crid. I'm good to give Stargirl some smooches, and then I can start talking about the flood again. But if you have any specific questions, I'd be happy to attempt to answer them. Give me some structure to my rambles.
Good girl, Ninetale. Good girl. Good girl, good girl, good girl, good girl, good girl, good girl. Good girl, Ninetale, good girl. Such a good girl, yes you are. Yes you are such a good girl, Ninetale, good girl, good girl, good girl, good girl. Such a good girl, yes you are. Look at you, such a good girl, yes you are. Very, very good girl, Ninetale, good girl, 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 good girl. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Such a good girl, yes you are. Yes, you are such a good girl, good girl, good girl, good girl, good girl, good girl.
Here you go, Ninetale. Hopefully that was alright for you, sweetheart. Thank you for the redeem, too. Thank you. Alright, let me drink some water. Get you your smooches, Stargirl. Thank you for being here, Stargirl. Oh, okay. Yeah, I could talk about that after I sub smooches. That's not really a spoiler. Trying to think. No, not really. Not really. I would definitely recommend playing the games yourself, though, too, if you ever get the chance. At least 1 through 3, and then ODST and Reach. Hi, Mercury. Mwah. Hi, sweetheart. How you doing? There we go. Please go follow Mercury. Please, please. He's a fellow boy with the femme variety. He's very cute. He's very sweet. He's playing through Pokemon ZA. Excuse me, sorry. He also posts studies on Blue Sky if you want to go look at those. He's very squishy. He's very cute. Anyway. But hi, Mercury. Hope you're doing alright here.
Okay, Stargirl. Here's your smooches. Here's your smooches. And you're welcome, Mercury. You're welcome. Oh, it's just smooches, sorry.
That's good, Mercury. That's good. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I caught up on some animes, and then spent most of my day watching Halo lore videos. Hey, Ghost Star Girl. Thank you for the switch redeem, sweetheart. Thank you. Hopefully those were alright for you, sweetheart. Thank you. Okay. Before I forget, shall we post ties? I forgot last week. Well, last week was Halloween, and I was not really home that day. Should we do it? Okay. So the flood gets smarter because they of all the hosts that they so they start as just like the infection forms, and then an initial infestation, they're just kind of all feral, and then as they get more and more biomass and hosts, they start to form a collective intelligence, and they get the intelligence from their hosts. So in the Halo novel, The Flood, which is the only Halo novel that adapts the game, a Halo game. It's a novelization of Combat Evolved. We actually get to know what it's like to be infected by the flood. I can't remember if it's Jenkins or someone else. I don't think it's Jenkins, because the Marine's helmet that Chief picks up in that cutscene before the flood reveal is Jenkins' helmet, but I don't think it's Jenkins. I think it's another guy. It could be Jenkins. I have not read the book in a while. I've read it at least twice. So it even tells the novel that goes into how the infection forms tend to infect someone. They the little popcorn guys that like crawl over the walls and stuff, they will jump on your back typically, and then use a tentacle to try and like spinal tap you and then take control of your nervous system and then start puppeting your body, and then they will and the person in the novel that gets infected, the infection form is so old that it's like it's not 100% successful in infecting the individual, so he still has some cognitive control over what is happening to his body, or like motor control, I should say, but he still feels everything. So like it jumps on his back and then taps into his nervous system, and then his skin flays open, and then the bones in his arm like elongate or whatever, and then he gets the the signature flood combat form tentacles coming out of one of his arms, and then in the novel he's able to like communicate slightly, and he's captured by the UNSC on the ring, and he's essentially like dissected, and then I think eventually he's killed. Like he asks, just do it or something. I don't remember. It's been too long. And how we know what happens when the infection form is not old and able to completely take over a host body. Like, it's kind of like Yeerks in Animorphs, except body horror, and they don't need to exit the body like every 3 days to soak in a pool of mercury. They're similar in the fact that they're both parasites, but they learn because they take the knowledge and memories of the host, and use it to create this central intelligence that they all are connected to. And so the initial stages of a flood infection, they're all like infestation. They're all like feral until they get a handful of individuals that are smart, and then they will begin to coordinate, and then they will build biomass in a specific location to build their central node of the colony or whatever. And we have not reached that point yet in Combat Evolved, so it's kind of spoilers. But in the Halo graphic novel, which I have right here, they made it in 2008, and it was reprinted a couple years ago. Oh, it was reprinted in 2021. I can't remember what year. Does it have a year? I don't know. I don't know. Can I say your username? I can do that. I can. Yeah. So they get smarter by absorbing smarter hosts, and in the novel, they infect an important person, and then we get his POV of him trying to maintain himself, like retain who he is, while the Flood are actively like absorbing him. He repeats his name and his serial number over and over again. His name, his rank, office, or whatever, and then his UNSC serial number, and then talks about how the Flood are going through his memories, and if it's not useful, it deletes it, like it just throws it away. So he uses precious memories of his wife and his family and his home and all that stuff to distract the Flood from finding the location of Earth, or anything else that could be useful to the Flood. So he's throwing away all these precious memories and literally throwing away who he is trying to delay the Flood from figuring out where Earth is, or how to even because in the level we ended the stream in, the Flood are trying to fix the Covenant supercarrier, the Covenant Corvette that we saved keys from. Then we go back to save keys again in the current level we're in. So they absorb knowledge and then use that to fight smarter and use weapons to people, armies weapons against them. That's how they, like in the beginning of the level of Ghostly Spark, we just see them run at you, and they jump and run at you and then smack you with their tentacles, or tendril spear fingers. And then after you go a little deeper or try to escape further, they start shooting at you with guns. because they figured out how to do that. Because you've been killing them with guns. Thank you for the 3-stream streak, Astro. Thank you. Anyway, they get smarter because they absorb the memories of their hosts and discard anything not useful, like love and the taste of a nice steak or a beautiful sunset. That kind of thing. They just throw it out. They want to know how to fix the ship to get off the ring and then go to some other place. And the Halo graphic novel has 2 books in it, or 2 comics that explain how Johnson got out of the flood containment facility, and then expounds on another one expounds on the backstory of a character in Halo 2 that take place during the events of 343 Guilty Spark, the level, which are both very good reads. They're very good. But I would definitely recommend playing the games yourself. And then there's a trilogy of novels called the Forerunner trilogy that explain and explore the era of the Halo universe during the reign of the Forerunners and all that leading up to when they fire the Halo rings. And everybody says those are really good. I have not read them. I haven't. I don't know if I have them. I have some Halo novels. We could read those. A couple of streams, maybe. I have a couple, and then I have some from the Halo 5 era. So yeah, definitely read The Flood when you play when you play Combat Evolved, because it's just a good read. And then I have First Strike, which takes place directly after Combat Evolved. Like immediately after the final cutscene ends, First Strike picks up. And then explains the events of between Combat Evolved and Halo 2. Anyway. Do you want me to spell it, Astra, or just whisper the whole thing? Hi, Kernrod. What do you get when you cross a rabbit with a water hose? Hairspray? Okay. I can spell it. You got it. 1 A S T R O U R I 1 A S T R O U R I
couple more.
There you go, Astro. Hopefully that was alright for Ice Spirit. Thank you for the redeem, dear. Thank you. Oh yeah, when you go to bed, it's like 30. It's not that late. So the flood are basic like flood infection forms and stuff, like infected elites and humans and Combat Evolved. They're not really undead. They're a corpse being puppeted by some other being, I guess. I don't know. In that way, they're undead, but there is living tissue. They're essentially space cancer. Essentially, that's what they're like. They're a space version of that dog cancer that it's like thousands of years old. That's just, it only affects dogs, but and it's not like it's a specific dog's DNA in all these cancer cells. Like this dog from thousands of years ago that had some infection. It lives on in every other dog that gets this dog cancer because its DNA it's a dog. It's essentially a, a clump of it's cancer, but it's a dog. I don't know how else to explain it. It's really weird and kind of cool, but also really sad. Yeah, they're essentially space cancer, and they're really cool. Yeah, I'm glad you liked the Astro. I'm glad you did. Okay, I post thighs before I forget. Excuse me. Do you have any other questions, Crid? Oops, sorry. Hi, Duggo. How you doing, sir? Good to see you. Hope you've been well. Hope you've been well, sweetheart. Good to see you. It's a random date, yeah. And that's okay. And that's just fine. Usually you're sleeping already? I see. Makes sense. I hope we're able to get some good sleeps. They're trying, understandable. Well, hopefully I don't keep you awake or anything. A new bed and couch, nice. That's always cool. That's always exciting. I'm sure. You're trying. Oh, getting used to the new bed. A bed this big? Oh, nice. Nice. The biggest bed I've ever had is just a futon that I shared with my younger brother when we were like toddlers. No, the English names. That's okay. That's okay. Single, couple, queen, and king. I think it goes something like that. I think. I don't know what size my mattress is. It's big enough for me. And that's about it. Now as a couple. Oh, nice. Nice. Only problem I would have with a really big bed is taking the bedding off and putting it back on to wash it. Taking it off to wash the sheets every week. Yeah. Tago, thank you for subscribing with Prime. Thank you so much. I'll buy new ones. Yeah. I need to the corners on mine are kind of wearing out. I need to sew them back up. I need to fix them. Because I could do that. I forget that, you can just sew things back together. Oh, since you have a cat? Gotcha. She owns half of your bed. Just need 10 more points for a good point. Well, yeah. That's not too long. That's like another 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. I don't know. Thank you for using your Prime sub on the stream, Taco. Thank you. I appreciate it. It means a lot. Thank you for choosing me for your Prime sub for the month. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mwah.
Do you have any other flood questions, Tato? Or not Tato. Crid, sorry. Where did the ketchup name come from? Your EP? So my username used to be 9th ketchup, and then a handful of numbers, because that's what the Microsoft Lords over on Xbox gave me when I got an Xbox One in like 2015, maybe 2014. And then it was what Xbox gave me, and I like ketchup enough, like, right? Potato something. Take a good boy or girl, depending on what they ask for. You got it. Do you want a good boy, good girl, good kitty, good puppy? Or some people ask for good kitty, good puppy. Bread just asks me to call them a good bread, so. Alright, let me just finish this Blue Sky post. Okay. Copy image. Sorry, I'm just trying to. I remembered, so I'm posting thighs before I forget, before it gets too late. Well, it's still Friday. Oh, just heads up, we have an ad break starting in any second now. Apologies. Thank you guys for sticking with me through the ad breaks and stuff. Thank you. You have 35,000 points. Oh my goodness. streamer you're a moderator for? Oh my goodness. Holy moly. All right. Here we go. Flies have been posted on Twitter and Blue Sky. 321.1 thousand points. That's a lot, Chang. That's a lot. So hi, Chang. About 100,000 VIP and 2 doodles. Oh my goodness. All right. Yeah, I am open to any more flood questions, Crid, but I will recommend you play the games yourself if you haven't before. It's very good. At least 1 through 3, and then ODST and Reach. ODST and Reach don't really have a ton of flood stuff, really at all, but they're still good. Excuse me, stretch of water. Thank you, Chang. And a treat. Okay. Get some water. Oh, and a treat. Sorry. Okay. I have a bag of peanuts. Eat these peanuts. Let's see if this one's a little more satisfying crunchy sound. I have bags and bags of candy, Chang. I'm fine. I've been eating candy for like 3 days. Yeah, I know. Okay. Thank you for the redeems, Chang. Thank you. All right, I get you. You're a good boy now, Techo.
Techo. Thank you for being here. Thank you for lurking and chatting. Spending time with us on the stream. Thank you. It's always good to see you, Techo. Always good to see you.
Taco Bell.
Good boy, Taco. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy, Taco. Good boy. Such a good bet. Good boy. Such a good boy as you are. Yes, you are such a good boy. Good boy, Taco. Good boy. Such a good boy. Look at you. Such a good boy. Yes, you are. Yes, you are such a good boy. Good boy, Taco. Good boy. 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 Good boy.
Taco, thank you for the redeem credit. Thank you. Excuse me. Sorry. Goodness gracious. Should we read some of the Halo? I think we started reading one of the Halo novels that I have on stream like years ago. I have the Flood and First Strike because we went to Wyoming to visit one of my uncles, and their town had a smells like old book, a thrift store, like this big. It's like in a big garage building kind of deal, and it was like a big thrift store for people in the town and stuff, and they had a copy of The Flood and First Strike, an original printing of First Strike, I think. See, of a year. I don't know if it's signed or no, or if that's the name of the person who owned the book. It's in cursive. I can't read it. I can't read it. 2003. Yeah. So this is. First edition, December 2003. So I was a little over 3 years old when this book was printed. And I don't have the Fall of Reach. And then my copy of The Flood is a 2010 edition. Probably released by for the anniversary of Combat Evolved. Probably. Also smells like old book. Oh, I had a bookmark. What is this? That's a Yu-Gi-Oh card. It's a Doppel Warrior foil. I was using it as a bookmark. Okay. So I have First Strike and The Flood, and then for Christmas a couple years ago, I asked for a copy of Ghosts of Onyx. And I have not even started reading it. I feel bad. I feel bad. I have not read it. And there are I have 2 Star Wars novels, and then The Pillars of the Earth, which I don't know anything about. I think I got from my grandpa. I don't know if it's. I think I've looked at it before. Pillars of the Earth. Wonderful, a novel of majesty and power will hold you, fascinate you, surround you. I don't know if Pillars of the Earth is a... Because my grandpa liked to read sci-fi and historical fiction and things like that. So I don't know. Anything about this book. When was it printed? 1989. So I don't know anything about the Pillars of the Earth. Maybe we can read it. It's heavy. A heavy book. Also smells like old book, but like a little sweet. It smells almost sweet. It's weird. It's weird. With my my Halo novels right here, they smell like old paper, ink and paper, right? And then Pillars of the Earth smells almost kind of. It's not as smelly, or not as pungent, I guess. Maybe that's why. But it smells almost sweet. Not like super sweet, but like, you know, if you chew on it like a piece of raw potato for like a minute or two, it starts to taste sweet because you break down the sucrose and stuff in it. Anyway, do we want to start reading? Can do that, I guess. Let's see. I guess we'll read The Flood. I guess. I've not read this book in a long time. And because now I have to keep the light on in my room to do ASMR because the camera doesn't have a ring light on it, I guess I can read comfortably if it's not on my computer screen. Is that cool? Okay. Let's read the back of the book here. It's been a long time since I've looked at this. Reach has fallen, the Covenant war machine rages on. Humanity's last hope lies with the crew of the Pillar of Autumn, the indomitable Captain Jacob Keyes, Staff Sergeant Andrew Johnson, and the AI Cortana. Hundreds of... Oh, I said A, but end, but it was not the end of the sentence. The AI Cortana, hundreds of fearless Marines, and Spartan 117, the Master Chief. Having barely escaped the battle for Reach, the crew of the Pillar of Autumn is forced to make a jump into slipspace in hopes of evading the vast alien alliance hell-bent on wiping out humanity, but their destination brings them to an ancient mystery and an even greater struggle. In this far-flung corner of the universe floats a magnificently massive artificial ring world, a construct from a long-lost race. The humans' only hope of survival is to crash land on its surface and take the battle against the Covenant to the ground. But they soon discover that this enigmatic ring world is much more than it seems. Built 100,000 years ago by a civilization known as the Forerunners, this halo is worshipped by the Covenant, a sacred artifact they hope will complete their religious quest for supposed transcendence. They will stop at nothing to control it. Engaged in a fierce ground battle, Master Chief and Cortana go deep into the Halo construct to uncover a dark secret. This enigmatic ring world is also the universe's most dangerous weapon. Its purpose, the destruction of all sentient life, for the Forerunners built the Halo to battle the universe's most vicious enemy, a virtually unstoppable and suddenly reawakened force known as the Flood. Thanks for spoiling the whole thing, book. It's fine. But I don't think this copy of First Strike is signed by the author. I think that's just the name of the person. Yeah, because First Strike was written by Eric Nyland, and The Flood Yui, Yui, Yui. Is that better? Is that better? Okay. Thank you for letting me know. I budged the cord. I nudged the cord. um, when I was reaching behind it for some reason. And yeah. Sorry about that. I hope that wasn't terrible. I don't know how it was only a couple minutes. Only a couple of minutes, I hope. Thank you for letting me know. Okay. I just had to change the audio source or whatever it's called, device settings in OBS. And if it Chang put a nodding emote, so I'm guessing it's fine now. I'm guessing it's fine now. I hope. Anyway, sorry about that. I hope that wasn't terribly loud. Okay. Do we need to read the acknowledgements? Not really. Okay. So I'm just gonna start reading this book because I was talking about it earlier, and I don't know what else to talk about right now. So we're gonna read a bit of this book, I guess. Okay. This is the foreword. If by some chance you're not familiar with the story in these pages, then skip this forward and move on to the main course. You've been warned. The Flood, it's the third act twist. It's the creeping horror. It's the boogeyman that lurks in the dark Forerunner corners. It's a compelling and unexpected bad guy. It's an ancient shame. It's a forgotten sin. And in some ways, it's the icky, sticky glue that holds the Halo universe together. The Flood is also the first and only Halo novel that's actually based on a game. We enjoy the luxury of an expanded universe that gives us permission to go off on highly exploratory adventures. We can visit distant worlds, move back and forward through an immense chronology, and flit from place to place like a butterfly. But the Flood is centered squarely on the events in the events of the first game, and is unique for that. Certainly for gamers, it has a mixed reception. Some players enjoy the perverse nightmare of slogging through the library on Legendary, blasting through putrescent forms with a shotgun and ever-diminishing ammo supply. Others go into shock at the mere mention of that challenge, wishing for daylight and the bright vistas and the relief of Halo's friendlier climes. But Bill Dietz, who performed yet another Herculean task in the Halo canon, was able to make a narrative structure from a nascent game universe and turn it into compelling fiction and adventure, often by taking the same detours that we in Halo fiction are often tempted by. Dietz explores a lot of the stuff that was simply inferred during the game. He unravels some mysteries that were never explicitly explained, and he has fun in the corridors and confines of Installation 04, taking us on an underground tour of a place we thought we were familiar with, but that continually surprises us with its alien enigma. In hindsight, knowing what we know about the Gravemind, the Longo Forerunner War with the Flood, and the very purpose of the Halo array, Dietz' compelling version of the event of Halo Combat Evolved takes on a fresh new resonance and holds surprises still, even for the cognoscenti. Enjoy it, and enjoy the other little surprises we've scattered along these pages. Frank O'Connor, Redmond, Washington, July 2010. Halo the Flood. So, if you haven't played Combat Evolved, this will spoil the game. I mean, we're playing it on stream. So, okay. Let me just message in chat, make sure you guys can hear me for sure. You can hear me? You can hear me? Mic sounds okay? Okay. So this is the prologue. Okay. Thank you, Cheng. Prologue. 103 hours, September 19th, 2552 military calendar, UNSC cruiser Pillar of Autumn, location unknown. Tech officer, 3rd class. Sam Marcus swore as the intercom roused him from fitful sleep. He rubbed his blurry eyes and glanced at the mission clock bolted to the wall above his bunk. He'd been asleep for 3 hours. His first sleep cycle in 36 hours. Damn it. Worse, this is the first time since the ship had jumped that he'd been able to fall asleep at all. Jesus, he muttered. This better be good. The old man had put the tech crews on triple shifts after the Pillar of Autumn jumped away from reach. The ship was a mess after the battle, and what was left of the engineering crews worked around the clock to keep the aging cruiser in one piece. Nearly 1/3 of the tech staff had died during the flight from reach, and every department was running a skeleton crew. Everyone else went into the freezer. Of course. Non-essential personnel always got an ice nap during a slip space jump. In over 200 combat cruises, Marcus had clocked fewer than 72 hours in cryostorage. Right now, though, he was so tired that even the discomfort of cryo revival sounded appealing if it meant that he could manage some uninterrupted sleep. Of course, it was difficult to complain. Captain Keyes was a brilliant tactician, and everyone aboard the Autumn knew just how close they'd come to destruction when Reach fell to the enemy. A major naval base destroyed, millions dead or dying as the Covenant burned the planet to a cinder. One of Earth's few remaining defenses transformed into corpses and molten slag. All in all, they'd been damned lucky to get away. But Sam couldn't help but feel that everyone on the Autumn was living on borrowed time. The intercom buzzed again, and Sam swung himself out of the bunk. He jabbed the comm control. "Marcus here," he growled. "I'm sorry to wake you, Sam, but I need you down in cryo too." Tech Chief Shepard sounded exhausted. "It's important." "Cryo too," Sam repeated, puzzled. "What's the emergency, Tom? I'm not a cryo specialist." "I can't give you specifics, Sam. The captain wants it kept off the comm," Shepard replied, his voice almost a whisper. "Just in case we have eavesdroppers." Sam winced at the tone in his superior's voice. He'd known Tom Shepard since the academy and had never heard the man sound so grim. "Look," Shepard said, "I need someone I can depend on. Like it or not, that's you, pal. You've cross-checked on cryo systems." Sam sighed. "Months ago, but yeah." "I'm sending a feed to your terminal, Sam," Shepard continued. "I'll answer some of your questions anyway. Dump it to a portable pad, grab your gear, and get down here." "Roger," Sam said. He stood, shrugged into his uniform tunic, and stepped over to his terminal. He activated the computer and waited for the upload from Shepard. As he waited, his eyes locked onto a small 2D photograph taped to the edge of the screen. Sam brushed his fingers against the photo. The pretty young woman frozen in the picture smiled back at him. The terminal chimed as the feed from Shepard appeared in Sam's message queue. "Receiving the feed, Chief," he called out to the intercom pickup. He opened the file and frowned, and a frown creased his tired features as a new message scrolled across the screen. "File encrypted eyes only. Marcus, Samuel N. SN series of numbers M. Decryption key personalized. Ellen's anniversary." He glanced back at the picture of his wife. He hadn't seen Ellen in almost 3 years, since his last shore leave on Earth, in fact. He didn't know anyone on active duty who'd been able to see their loved ones for years. The war simply didn't allow for it. Sam's frown deepened. UNSC personnel generally avoided talking about the people back home. The war had been going badly for so long that morale was rock bottom. Thinking about the home front only made things worse. The fact that Tom had personalized the security encoding was unusual enough. Reminding Sam of his wife in the process was completely out of character for Chief Shepard. Someone was being security conscious to the point of paranoia. He punched in a series of numbers, the date of his wedding, and enabled the decryption suite. And in seconds, the screen filled with schematics and tech readouts. He practiced eye scan the file, and adrenaline suddenly spiked through his fatigue like a bolt of lightning. Christ, he said, his voice suddenly hoarse. Tom, is that who I think it is? Damn right. Get down to Cryo 2 on the double, Sam. We've got an important package to thaw out, and we drop into real space soon. On my way, he said. He killed the intercom connection and his exhaustion forgotten. Sam quickly dumped the tech file to his portable compad and deleted the original from his computer. He strode toward the door to his cabin, then stopped. He snatched Ellen's picture from the workstation, almost as an afterthought, and shoved it into his pocket. He sprinted for the lift. If the captain wanted the inhabitant of Cryo 2 revived, it meant that Keyes believed that the situation was about to go from bad to worse. Or it already had. Unlike vessels designed by humans, in which the command area was almost always located towards the ship's bow, Covenant ships were constructed in a more logical fashion, which meant that their control rooms were buried deep within heavy armored holes, making them impervious to anything less than a mortal blow. The differences did not end there. Rather than surround themselves with all manner of control interfaces, plus the lesser beings required to staff them, the elites preferred to command from the center of an aesthetically barren platform held in place by a latticework of opposing gravity beams. However, none of these things were at the forefront of the shipmaster Orna Fulsami's mind as he stood at the center of his destroyer's control room and stared at the data projections, which appeared to float in front of him. One showed the ring world, Halo. Near that, a tiny arrow tracked the interloper's course. The second projection displayed a schematic titled Human Attack Ship Type C2. A third scrolled a constant flow of targeting data and sensor readouts. He fought a moment of revulsion that these filthy primates somehow merited an actual name, let alone names for their inferior constructs. Galled him to his core. It was perverse. Names implied legitimacy, and the vermin deserved only extermination. The humans had names for his own kind, elites, as well as the lesser races of the Covenant, jackals, grunts, hunters. The appalling temerity of the filthy creatures, that they would dare name his people with their harsh barbaric tongue, was beyond the pale. He paused and regained his composure. Fulsami clicked his lower mandibles, the equivalent of a shrug, and mentally recited one of the true sayings. True sayings, such as the Prophet's decree, he thought. One didn't question such things, even when one was a shipmaster. The Prophets had assigned names to the enemy craft, and he would honor their decrees. Any less was a disgraceful dereliction of duty. Like all of his kind, the Covenant officer appeared to be larger than he actually was, due to the armor that he wore. It gave him an angular, somewhat hunched appearance, which, when combined with a heavy, pugnacious jaw, caused him to look like what he was, a very dangerous warrior. The being who floated next to Fulsami bobbed slightly as a gust of air nudged his heavily swathed body. He wore a tall, ornate headpiece made of metal and set with amber panels. The Prophet had a serpentine neck, a triangular skull, and two bright green eyes, which glittered with malevolent intelligence. He wore a red overrobe, a gold underrobe, and beneath the fabric an anti-grav throne, which served to keep him suspended one full unit off the deck. Though only a minor prophet, he still outranked Fulsami, as his bearing made clear. True sayings aside, the shipmaster couldn't help but be reminded of the tiny squealing rodents he had hunted in his childhood. He immediately banished the memory of blood on his claws and returned his attention to the Prophet and his tiresome assistant. The assistant, a lower rank elite named Bako Ikapurami, stepped forward to speak on the Prophet's behalf. He had an annoying tendency to use the royal we, a habit that angered Fulsami. Even his demeanor dripped with condensation, a fact which made the shipmaster angry but couldn't be addressed. Not directly, and certainly not with the Prophet present, although Fulsami wasn't willing to cave in completely. So, Fulsami said, careful to direct his comment to Ikapurami alone, You would have me believe the interlopers arrived here entirely by chance? No, of course not, Ipamormi replied loftily. Though primitive by our standards, the creatures are sentient, and like all sentient beings, they are unconsciously drawn to the glory of the ancients' truth and knowledge. Like all the members of his caste, Fulsami knew that the prophets had evolved on a planet which the mysterious truth-givers had previously inhabited, and then, for reasons known only to the ancients themselves, subsequently abandoned. This ring world was an excellent example of the ancients' power and inscrutability. Fulsami found it hard to believe that mere humans would be drawn here, the ancients' wisdom notwithstanding, but Ikaporami spoke for the prophet, so it must be true. Fulsami touched the light panel in front of him. A symbol glowed red. Prepare to fire plasma torpedoes, launch on my command. Ikaporami raised both hands in alarm. No, we forbid it. The human vessel is much too close to the construct. What if your weapons were to damage the holy relic? Pursue the ship, board it, and seize control. Anything else is far too dangerous. Angered by what he saw as Ikaporami's interference, Fulsami spoke through gritted teeth. The course of action that the Holy One recommends is likely to result in a high number of casualties. Is it acceptable? Is this acceptable? The opportunity to transcend the physical is a gift to be sought after, the other responded. The humans are willing to spend their lives. Can we do less? No, Fulsami thought, but we should aspire to more. He again clicked his lower mandibles and touched the light panel. Cancel the previous order, load 4 transports with troops, and launch another flight of fighters. Neutralize the interlopers' weaponry before the boarding craft reach their target. 100 units aft, sealed within the destroyer's fire control center. A half commander acknowledged the order and issued instructions of his own. Lights began to strobe, the decks transmitted a low-frequency vibration, and more than 300 battle-ready Covenant warriors, a mix of what the humans called elites, jackals, and grunts, rushed aboard their assigned transports. There were humans to kill. None of them wanted to miss this opportunity. Section 1. Pillar of Autumn. Chapter 1. 127 hours, ship's time, September 19th, 2552, military calendar, UNSC cruiser Pillar of Autumn, location unknown. The Pillar of Autumn shuddered as her titanium armor took a direct hit. Just another item in the Covenant's bottomless arsenal, Captain Jacob Keyes thought. Not a plasma torpedo where we'd already be free-floating molecules. The warship had taken a beating from Covenant forces off reach, and it was a miracle that the hull remained intact. Even more remarkable that they'd been able to make a jump into slip space at all. Status, Keyes barked. What just hit us? Covenant fighter, serve class, the tactical officer, Lieutenant Hikoa, replied. Her porcelain features darkened. Tricky bastard must have powered down and slipped past our sentry ships. A humorless grin tugged at Key's mouth. Hikoa was a first-rate tactical officer, utterly ruthless in a fight. She seemed to take the Covenant fighter pilot's actions as a personal insult. Teach him a lesson, Lieutenant, he said. She nodded and tapped a series of orders into her panel. A few orders for the Autumn's fighter squadron. A moment later, there was radio chatter as one of the Autumn's C-709 longsword fighters went after the Seraph, followed by a cheer as the tiny alien ship transformed into a momentary sun, complete with its own system of co-orbiting debris. Keyes wiped a trickle of sweat from his forehead. He checked his display. They'd reverted back into real space 20 minutes ago. 20 minutes! And the Covenant picket patrols had already found them and started shooting. He turned to the bridge's main viewport, a large transparent bubble slung beneath the Autumn's bow superstructure. A massive purple gas giant, Threshold, dominated the spectacular view. One of the longsword fighters glided past it as it continued in its patrol. When Keyes had been given command of the Pillar of Autumn, he'd been skeptical of the large domed viewport. The Covenant are tough enough, he had argued to Vice Admiral Stanforth. Why give them an easy shot into my bridge? He'd lost the argument. Captains don't win debates with admirals. In any case, there simply hadn't been time to armor the viewport. He had to admit, though, the view was almost worth the risk. Almost. He absently toyed with the pipe he habitually carried, lost in thought. It ran completely counter to his nature to slink around in the shadow of a gas giant. He respected the Covenant as a dangerous, deadly enemy, and hated them for their savage butchery of human colonists and fellow soldiers alike. He never feared them, however. Soldiers didn't hide from the enemy, they met the enemy head on. He moved back to the command station and activated his navigation suite. He plotted a course deeper in system and fed the data to Ensign Lovell? the navigator. Captain, Hikoa piped up. Sensors paint a squadron of enemy fighters inbound. Looks like boarding craft are right behind them. As a matter of time, Lieutenant, he sighed. We can't hide here forever. The autumn seemed to glide out of the shadow cast by the gas giant and into bright sunlight. Key's eyes widened with surprise as the ship cleared the gas giant. He had expected to see a Covenant cruiser, Seraph fighters, or some other military threat. He hadn't expected to see the massive object floating in a language point between Threshold and its moon basis. The construct was enormous, a ring-shaped object that shimmered and glowed with reflected starlight, like a jewel lit from within. The outer surface was metallic and seemed to be engraved with deep geometric patterns. Cortana, Captain Keyes said. What is that? A 30-centimeter high hologram faded into view above a small holopad near the captain's station. Cortana, the ship's powerful artificial intelligence, frowned as she activated the ship's long-range detection gear. Long lines of digits scrolled across the sensor displays and rippled the length of Cortana's body as well. The ring is 10,000 kilometers in diameter, Cortana announced, and 22.3 kilometers thick. Spectroscopic analysis is inconclusive, but patterns do not match any known Covenant material, sir. Keyes nodded. The preliminary finding was interesting, very interesting, since Covenant ships had already been present when the Autumn dropped out of subspace and right into their laps. When he first saw the ring, Keyes had a sinking feeling that the construct was a large Covenant installation, one far beyond the scope of human engineering. The thought that the construct might also be beyond Covenant engineering held some small comfort. It also made him nervous. Under intense pressure from enemy warships in the Epsilon Eridani system, the location of the UNSC's last major naval base, Reach, Cortana had been forced to launch the ship forward toward a random set of coordinates, a standard procedure to lead the Covenant forces away from Earth. Now it appeared that the men and women aboard the Pillar of Autumn had not succeeded in leaving their original pursuers behind. The Covenant had followed them here, wherever here was. Cortana aimed a long-range camera array at the ring, and a close-up snapped into focus. Keyes let out a long, slow whistle. The construct's inner surface was a mosaic of greens, blues, and browns. Trackless desert, jungles, glaciers, and oceans. Streaks of white clouds cast deep shadows on the terrain below. The ring rotated and brought a new feature into view, a tremendous hurricane forming over a large body of water. Equations again scrolled across the AI's semi-transparent body as she continued to evaluate the incoming data. Captain, Cortana said, the object is clearly artificial. There's a gravity field that controls the ring's spin and keeps the atmosphere inside. I can't say with 100% certainty, but it appears that the ring has an oxygen-nitrogen atmosphere and Earth-normal gravity. The Keyes raised an eyebrow. If it's artificial, who the hell built it, and what in God's name is it? Cortana processed the question for a full 3 seconds. I don't know, sir. Regulations be damned, Keyes thought. He took out his pipe and used an old-fashioned match to light it and produced a puff of fragrant smoke. The ring world shimmered on the status monitors. Then we'd better find out. Sam Marcus rubbed his aching neck with his hands that trembled with fatigue. The rush of adrenaline that had flooded him when he received Chief Shepard's instructions had worn off. Now he just felt tired, strung out, and more than a little afraid. He shook his head to clear it and surveyed the small observation theater. Each cryo-storage bay was equipped with such a station and central monitoring facility for the hundreds of cryotubes the storage bays held. By shipboard standards, the Cryo 2 observation theater was large, but the proliferation of life sign monitors, diagnostic gauges, and computer terminals tied directly into the individual cryo tubes stored in the bay below made the room seem cramped and uncomfortable. A chime sounded and Sam's eyes swept across the status monitors. There was only one active cryo tube in this bay, and its monitor pinged for his attention. He double-checked the main instrument panel, then keyed the intercom. "He's coming around, sir," he said. He turned and looked at the observation bay's window. Tech Chief Tom Shepard waved up at Sam from the floor of Cryo Stage Unit 2. "Good work, Sam," he called back. "Almost time to pop the seal." The status monitors continued to feed information to the observation theater. The subject's body temperature was approaching normal, at least Sam assumed it was normal. He'd never awakened a Spartan before. And most of the chemicals had already been flushed out of his system. He's in a REM cycle now, Chief," Sam called out, "and his brainwave activity shows he's dreaming. That means he's pretty much thawed. Shouldn't be long now." "Good," Shepard replied. Keep an eye on those neural readings. We packed him in wearing his combat armor. There may be some feedback effects to watch out for." Acknowledged. A red light winked to life on the security terminal, and a new series of codes flashed across the screen. "Wake up, Series standby, security lock, priority alpha engaged, Cortana, cryostore." Yeah. "What the hell?" Sam muttered. He keyed the bay intercom again. "Tom, there's something weird here, and some kind of security lockout from the bridge." Acknowledged. There was a static spotted click. A Shepard looped in the bridge channel. "Cryo 2 to bridge." "Go ahead, Cryo 2, a female voice replied, laced with a telltale warble of synthesized speech. "We're ready to pop the seal on our guest, Cortana," Shepard explained. "We need the security code," the AI finished, transmitting bridge out. Almost instantly, a new line of text scrolled across the security screen. "Unseal the hushed casket." Sam hit the execute command. The security lockout dropped away, and the countdown timer began marking time until the wake-up sequence would be completed. The soldier was coming around. Respiration was up, ditto his heart rate, as both returned to normal levels. Here he is, Sam thought, a real honest-to-God Spartan. Not just any Spartan, but maybe the last Spartan. Excuse me, sorry. The shipboard scuttlebutt said that the rest of them had bought the farm at Reach. Like his fellow tech, Sam had heard of the program, though he'd never seen an actual Spartan in person. In order to deal with increasing civil turmoil, the Colonial Military Administration had secretly launched Project Orion back in 2491. The purpose of the program was to develop super soldiers who would receive special training in physical augmentation. The initial effort was successful, and in 2517, a new group of Spartans, the two series, had been selected as the next generation of super soldier. The project had been intended to remain secret, but the Covenant War had changed all that. It was no secret that the human race was on the verge of defeat. The Covenant's ships and space technology were just too advanced. While human forces could hold their own in a ground engagement, the Covenant would simply fall back into space and glass the planet from orbit, and the situation grew increasingly grim. The Admiralty was faced with the ugly prospect of fighting a two-front war, one against the Covenant in space and another against the collapsing human society on the ground. The general public and the rank and file in the military needed a morale boost, so the existence of the Spartan 2 program was revealed. Just heads up, we have the last ad break in about 5 minutes. Yeah. There were now successful heroes to rally behind, men and women who had taken a fight to the enemy and won several decisive battles. Even the Covenant seemed to fear the Spartans. Except they were gone now. All but one, sacrificed to protect the human race from the Covenant and the very real possibility of extinction. Sam gazed on the soldier in front of him with something akin to awe. Here, about to rise as if from a grave, was a true hero. It was a moment to remember, and if he was lucky enough to survive, to tell his children about. It didn't make him any less afraid, however. If the stories were true, the man gradually regaining consciousness in the bay below was almost as alien, and certainly as dangerous, as the Covenant. He was floating in the Never Land, somewhere between cryo and full consciousness, when the dream began. It was a familiar dream, a pleasant dream, one which had nothing to do with war. He was on Aradnus II, the colony world he'd been born on, long since destroyed by the Covenant. He heard laughter all around. A female voice called him by name. John. A moment later, arms held him, and he recognized the familiar scent of soap. The woman said something nice to him, and he wanted to say something nice in return, but the words didn't come. He tried to see her, tried to penetrate the haze that obscured her face, and was thwarted with an image of a woman with large eyes, rewarded with the image of a woman with large eyes, a straight nose, and full lips. The picture wavered, indistinct, like a reflection in a pond. In an eye blink, the woman who held him transformed. Now she had dark hair, piercing blue eyes, and pale skin. He knew her name, Dr. Halsey. Dr. Catherine Halsey had selected him for the Spartan II project. Well, most believed that the Spartans had been culled from the best of the UNSC military. Only a handful of people knew the truth. Halsey's program involved the actual abduction of specially screened children. The children were flash cloned, which made the duplicates prone to neurological disorders, and the clones covertly returned to the parents who never suspected that their sons and daughters were duplicates. In many ways, Dr. Halsey was the only mother that he had ever known. But Dr. Halsey wasn't his mother, nor was the pale semi-translucent image of Cortana that appeared to replace her. The dream changed. A dark, nebulous shape loomed behind the Mother Halsey-Cortana figure. He didn't know what it was, but it was a threat. Of that he was certain. His combat instincts kicked in, and adrenaline coursed through him. He quickly surveyed the area, some kind of playground, with high wooden poles distinctly familiar, and decided on the best route to flank the new threat. He spied an assault rifle, a powerful MA-5B nearby. If he placed himself between the woman and the threat, his armor could take the brunt of an attack, and he could return fire. He moved quickly. If the dark shape howled at him, a fierce and terrifying war cry. The beast was impossibly fast. It was on him in seconds. He grabbed the assault rifle and turned to open fire, and discovered to his horror that he couldn't lift the weapon. His arms were small, underdeveloped. His armor was gone, and his body was that of a 6-year-old child. He was powerless in the face of the threat. He roared back at the beast in rage and fear, angry not just at the threat, but at his own sudden powerlessness. The dream started to fade, and light appeared in front of the Spartan's eyes. Vapor vented, swirled, and began to dissipate. A voice came, as if from a great distance. It was male and matter-of-fact. "Sorry for the quick thaw, Master Chief, but things are a bit hectic right now. The disorientation should pass quickly." A second voice welcomed him back, and it took the Spartan a moment to remember where he'd been prior to entering the cryotube. There had been a battle, a terrible battle, in which almost, if not all of his Spartan brothers and sisters had been killed. Men and women with whom he had been raised and trained since the age of 6, and who, unlike the dimly remembered women of his dreams, constituted his real family. With the memory, plus little changes to the gas mix that filled his lungs, came strength. He flexed his stiff limbs. The Spartan heard the tech say something about freezer burn, and pushed himself up and out of the cryotube's chilly embrace. "God in heaven," Sam whispered. The Spartan was huge, nearly 2.5 meters tall, encased in pearlescent green battle armor. The man looked like a figure from mythology, otherworldly and terrifying. Master Chief Spartan 117 stepped from his tube and surveyed the cryo bay. The mirrored visor on his helmet made him all the more fearsome, a faceless, impassive soldier built for destruction and death. Sam was glad he was up here in the observation theater rather than down on the cryo 2 main floor with the Spartan. He realized that Tom was waiting for diagnostic data. He checked the displays. No pathways clear, no fluctuations in heartbeat or brainwave activity. He opened the intercom channel. I'm bringing his health monitors online now. Sam watched as Tom led the Spartan to the various test stations in the bay, pitching in where he was required. I lost my spot. Hold on. In short order, the soldiers' gear had been brought online. Recharging shield system, real-time health monitors, targeting and optical systems, all red in the green. All red in the green. That's a tough sentence. The suit, codenamed Mjolnir armor, was a marvel of engineering, Sam had to admit. According to the specs he'd received, the suit's shell constituted of a multi-layered alloy of remarkable strength, a refractive coating that could disperse a fair amount of directed energy, crystalline storage matrix that could support the same level of artificial intelligence that usually reserved for a starship. Excuse me, sorry. In a layer of gel which conformed to the wearer's skin and functioned to regulate temperature. Additional memory packets and signal conduits had been implanted into the Spartan's body, and 2 externally accessible input slots had been installed near the base of the skull. Taken together, the combined system served to double his strength, enhance his already lightning-fast reflexes, and make it possible for him to navigate through the intricacies of any high-tech battlefield. There were substantial life support systems built into the Mjolnir gear. Most soldiers went into cryo naked, since covered skin generally reacted badly to the cryo's process. Sam had once worn a bandage into the freezer and discovered the affected skin blistered and raw when he woke up. The Spartan's skin must have hurt like hell, he realized. Through it all, though, the soldier remained silent, simply nodding when asked questions or quietly complying with requests from Tom. It was eerie. He moved with mechanistic efficiency from one test to the next like a robot. Cortana's voice rang from the ship-wide comm. Sensors show inbound Covenant boarding craft. Stand by to repel boarders. Sam felt a pang of fear and sorrow for the Covenant troops that would have to face this Spartan in combat. The neural interface, which linked the Master Chief to his Mjolnir armor, was working perfectly, and immediately fed data to his helmet's heads-up display on the inside surface of his visor. It felt good to move around, and the Master Chief quietly flexed his fingers. His skin itched and stung, a side effect of the cryogases, but it quickly banished the pain from his awareness. He had long ago learned how to dissociate himself from physical discomfort. He'd heard Cortana's announcement. The Covenant were on their way. Good. He scanned the room for weapons, but there were no arms locker present. The lack of weapons wasn't of great concern to him. He'd taken weapons away from Covenant soldiers before. The intercom crackled again. Bridge to cryo 2. This is Captain Keyes. Send the Master Chief to the bridge immediately. Welcome back from the ad break, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you. We'll probably call it a night here in a couple minutes. I think we'll read Minari. I don't know if this is very relaxing, but I'm enjoying my time reading this book. I don't know how much longer this chapter is. It has a handful of pages. Yeah, we got a chunk of book. Okay, we drink some water. Thank you for the stretching water, Cheng. Thank you. Sorry, the mic was making yui sounds. Okay. We'll finish a couple pages. One of the techs started to object, pointing out that more tests were required when Keyes cut in. He said, "On the double, crewman," and the rating gave the only reply he could. "Aye, aye, sir." The tech chief turned and faced him. "We'll find weapons later." The Master Chief nodded and was about to move for the door when an explosion echoed through the cryo bay. The first blast slammed into the observation theater's door with a noise that made Sam jump. His heart pounded as he quickly hit the door controls. Engaging an emergency lockout, a heavy metal barrier slammed into place with a crash and began to glow red as Covenant energy weapons burned their way through. "They're trying to get through the door," he yelled. He glanced down into the cryo bay and saw Tom, a stricken look on his face. Sam could see his own startled reflection in the Spartan's mirrored visor. Sam lunged for the alarm and had time to call in an alert. Then the security door exploded in a shower of fire and molten steel. He heard the whine of plasma rifle fire, and then felt something punch him in the chest. His vision blurred, and he groped to feel the wound. His hands came away sticky with blood. It doesn't hurt, he thought. It should hurt, shouldn't it? He felt disoriented, confused. He could see a flurry of movement as armored figures swarmed into the observation theater. He ignored them and focused on his wife's picture, smeared with his own blood, which had somehow fallen to the deck plates. He fell to his knees and scrambled for the photograph, his hands shaking. His field of vision narrowed as he struggled to reach the discarded photo. It was only centimeters away now, but the distance felt like kilometers. He'd never been so tired. His wife's name echoed in his mind. Sam's fingers had just brushed the edge of the photograph when an armored boot pinned his arm to the deck. Long, clawed fingers plucked the picture from the floor. Sam cursed weakly and struggled to face his attacker. The alien, an elite, cocked his head at the image in puzzlement. He glanced down as if noticing Sam for the first time. The human continued to reach for the picture. He dimly heard Tom's voice call out in anguish, "Sam!" Sorry if that was loud. The elite aimed the plasma rifle at Sam's head and fired. The Master Chief bristled. Covenant forces were in close proximity, but a fellow soldier had just died. He longed to climb into the observation bay and engage the enemy, but orders were orders. He needed to get to the bridge. The cryotech keyed open a hatchway. "Come on," he yelled. "We've got to get the hell out of here." The Master Chief followed the crewman through the hatch and down the corridor. A sudden explosion blew the next door to smithereens, hurled what remained of the technician's body down the passageway, and caused the Chief's shields to flare. He mentally reviewed the schematics of the Halcyon-class line of ships and doubled back. He vaulted over a pair of power conduits and landed in the dimly lit maintenance hallway beyond. An emergency beacon strobed, and alarms wailed. The rumble of a second explosion echoed down the corridor. He pushed ahead, past a dead crewman, and into the next section of hallway. The Master Chief saw a hatch, its security panel pulsing green, and hurried forward. There was a third explosion, but his armor deflected the force of the blast. The Spartan forced open the partially melted door, saw an opening to his left, and heard someone scream. A naval crewman fired his sidearm at a target the Master Chief couldn't see, and the deck shuddered as a missile struck the Autumn's hull. The Master Chief ducked under a half-raised door, just in time to see the crewman take an energy bolt through the chest as the rest of the human counterboarders returned fire. Covenant forces backed through a hatch and were forced to retreat into an adjoining compartment. Chaos reigned as the ship's crew did the best they could to push the boarders back towards the airlocks, or to trap them in compartments where they could be contained and dispatched later. Unarmed and well aware of the fact that Captain Keyes needed him on the bridge, the Master Chief had little choice but to follow the signs and avoid the firefights that raged all around. He made his way down a darkened access corridor. The Covenant boarders must have shorted out the illumination circuits in this compartment, and nearly ran headlong into a Covenant elite. The alien's personal shield sparked and roared in surprise and anger. The Spartan crouched and prepared to meet the alien soldier's charge, then ducked as a Marine fire team unleashed a barrage of assault rifle fire at the elite. Purple gore splashed the bulkhead, and the elite dropped in a crumpled heap. The Marines moved forward to secure the area, and the chief nodded in thanks to the squad leader. He turned, sprinted down the passageway, and made it to the bridge without further incident. He looked out through the main viewport, saw the strange-looking construct that floated out beyond the cruiser's hull, and was momentarily curious about what it was. No doubt the captain would fill him in. He strode toward the captain's station, near the center of the bridge. A variety of naval personnel sat hunched at their consoles as they struggled to control their beleaguered vessel. Some battled the latest wave of Seraph fighters, others worked on damage control, and one grim-faced lieutenant made use of the ship's environmental systems to suck the atmosphere out of those compartments, which had been occupied by Covenant forces. Some of the enemy had carried their own atmosphere, but some of them didn't, and that made them vulnerable. There were crew in some of those spaces, perhaps some she knew personally, but there was no way to save them. If she didn't kill them, the enemy would. The chief understood the situation well. Better a quick death in vacuum than at the hands of the Covenant. He spotted Keyes near the main tactical display. Keyes studied the screens intently, particularly a large display of the strange ring. The Spartan came to attention. Captain Keyes. Captain Keyes turned to face him. Good to see you. Good to see you, Master Chief. Things aren't going well. Cortana did her best, but we never really had a chance. The AI arched a holographic eyebrow. 12 Covenant battleships against a single Halcyon-class cruiser? With those odds, we still had 3. She paused, as if distracted, then amended. Make that 4 kills. Cortana looked at Chief. Sleep well? Yes, he replied. No thanks to your driving. Cortana smiled. So you did miss me. Before he could reply, another blast rocked the entire ship. He grabbed a nearby support pillar and braced himself as several of the crew crashed to the deck nearby. Excuse me, sorry, goodness. Keyes grabbed onto a console for support. Report! Captain Cortana shimmered blue. It must have been one of the boarding parties. My guess is an antimatter charge. The fire control officer turned in his seat. Ma'am, fire control for the main cannon is offline. Cortana looked at Keyes. The loss of the ship's primary weapon, the magnetic accelerator cannon, was a crippling blow to their holding action. Captain, the cannon was my last defensive option. All right, Keyes said gruffly. I'm initiating Cole Protocol Article 2. We're abandoning the Autumn. That means you too, Cortana. Will you do what? Go down with the ship? She shot back. In a manner of speaking, Keyes replied. The object we found. We're going to try and land the Autumn on it. Cortana shook her head. With all due respect, this war has enough dead heroes. The captain's eyes locked with hers. I appreciate your concern, Cortana, but it's not up to me. The Cole Protocol is clear. The destruction or capture of a shipboard AI is absolutely unacceptable. That means you are abandoning ship. Lock in a selection of emergency landing zones and upload them to my neural lace. The AI paused, then nodded. Aye, aye, sir. Which is where you come in, Keyes continued as he turned to face the Spartan. Get Cortana off this ship. Keep her safe from the enemy. If they capture her, they'll learn everything. Force deployment, weapons research. He paused, then added. Earth. The Spartan nodded. I understand. Keyes glanced at Cortana. Are you ready? There was a pause as the Cortana took one last look around. In many ways, the ship was her physical body, and she was reluctant to leave it. Yank me. Keyes turned to a console, touched a series of controls, and turned back again. The hollow shivered, and Cortana's image swirled into the pedestal below and disappeared from view. Keyes waited until the hollow had disappeared, removed the data chip from the pedestal, and offered it to the Spartan, along with his sidearm. Good luck, Master Chief. Spartan 117 accepted the chip and reached back to slot the device into the neural interface located at the base of his skull. There was a positive click, followed by a flood of sensation as the AI joined him within the confines of the armor's neural network. At first, it felt as if someone had poured a cup of ice water into his mind, followed by a momentary jab of pain, and a familiar presence. He'd worked with Cortana before, just prior to the disaster at Reach. The AI-human interface was intrusive in a way, yet comforting too, since he knew what Cortana could do. He would depend on her during the hours and days ahead, just as she would depend on him. It was like being part of a team again. The Master Chief saluted and left the bridge. The sounds of fighting were even louder now, indicating that in spite of the crew's best efforts, Covenant forces had still managed to fight their way out of the areas adjacent to the airlocks and made it all the way up to the area around the command deck. Bodies lay strewn around the corridor, roughly 50 meters from the bridge. The human defenders had pushed them back, but the chief could tell that this was the last assault. That the last assault had been close, too close. The Master Chief paused to kneel next to a dead ensign, took a moment to close her eyelids, and appropriated the fallen trooper's ammo. The pistol the captain had given him was a standard Navy issue. It fired 12.7 millimeter semi-armor piercing high explosive ammo from 12-round clips. Not what he would choose to tackle an elite with, but good enough for grunt work. There was a metallic click as the first clip slid into the pistol's handle, followed by the sudden appearance of a blue circle in his HUD, a targeting reticle, as his armor made electronic contact with the weapon in his hand. Then, conscious of the need to get Cortana off the ship, he made his way down the corridor. He heard the strange high-pitched squeaks and barks before he actually saw the Covenant grunts themselves. Consistent with his status as a veteran, the first alien to come around the corner wore red-trimmed armor, a methane rig, and a Marine's web pistol belt. The alien wore the captured gear Pancho Villa style and dragged it across the deck. Two of his comrades brought up the rear. Confident that they were more of the vaguely simian aliens. Confident that there were more of the vaguely simian aliens on the way, Master Chief paused long enough to let more of them appear, then opened fire. The recoil compensators in his armor dampened the effect, but he could still feel the handgun kick against his palm. All three of the grunts went down from headshots. Phosphorescent blue ichor spattered the deck. It wasn't much, but it was a start. The Master Chief stepped over their bodies and moved on. A lifeboat. That was his real goal, and he wanted to do whatever it took to find one. Alright, we'll stop there. Put the Doppel Warrior super rare Yu-Gi-Oh card back in the book as my bookmark, apparently. Alright, thank you guys for indulging me. I appreciate that. I don't know if I'll read more. I just felt like doing that tonight. Okay. I hope my pronunciation of words were okay. I think I tend to mumble and stuff, so hopefully that was okay. Anyway, we haven't rated Minari in a while, so I think we'll do that. Alright, give me 1 second to swap my headphones, and we'll get the raid started. I'll be right back. Okay. Of course, Jane, thank you for being here. Thank you for lurking. Alright. Thank you for subscribing with Prime again to go. I don't know if you're still here, but thank you, sir. Thank you. We're gonna go say hi to Minari. Please give her some love. Please be nice to her. She's very sweet. She does most of the ASMR streams. I think she streamed Minecraft with Bobby once. So, I'll put the books back after stream. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. Take care of yourselves. Get some food. Get some water. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the 47th Sega Saturday. I don't remember exactly what tomorrow's game is. I think it's a Shinobi game, though. I think it's one of the Shinobi games. But yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. I'm all tongue-tied from reading for so long. But good night, guys. Take care of yourselves. Get some food. Get some water. Brush your teeth. Take your meds. Take your vitamins. Do what you gotta do. Take care of yourselves. Put on some cozy pajamas. It's getting cold outside. It is cold outside. I hate it. The sun's setting by like 5:30. It sucks. It's thrown off my sense of time. Anyway, good night, guys. Please be nice to Minari. Bye bye.